Hello and welcome to Shadow of the Beast on the Commodore 64, and this was released by, well, Ocean actually, but on behalf of Psygnosis, and it was developed by DMA Design and is of course a conversion of the legendary Amiga game. And yeah, this came out sort of late 1990, well it says 1990, but reviewed in Zap February 91, so sort of early 91, and I did actually own this back in the day. This must have been one of the last games that I bought for the C64 in its commercial life, before I got my Amiga. And this was a cartridge release only. There are some disc images floating around on the net, but they are just cracked versions of the cartridge game, and the game was designed to be played on cartridge. It's not very playable on disc due to the quite excessive loading, but so on cartridge it's not quite so bad. So you can pick between music and sound effects, not simultaneous, unlike the Amiga version of course. But we'll stick with the music and let's get started. So the idea is that you play the Beast and you've got to make your way through the lands and defeat the big boss at the end of the game. And that's it. There's an above ground area that we're in now, with some nice parallax scrolling. And some pretty decent music. Sort of nice rumbly version of the Amiga tune, and yeah, the parallax scrolling itself is great, but the graphics, yeah, I'm not too keen on the definition of them in this section. The trees don't look too great. The main sprite is a bit, yeah, it lacks definition, but his animation is actually pretty good. I think it's pretty reasonable. It's not exactly Epic's quality, but I think it's alright. And on the whole, I think the programming's great. There's only one issue I have, and that is with the collision detection, which isn't very good. So here we are at the tree. We enter the tree and make our way down to the big cavern. And this is where there's a bit of, I wouldn't say loading, but I guess it's banking in more data and decompressing it, because there's quite a lot of graphics in this game. It's a fairly complete conversion. Most of the opponents are here, and their definition varies. You can see that the quality of the definition is a bit variable. It looks like they've just been ported via some sort of program from the Amiga version, and obviously they lose the colours and the resolution, and I think some of them might have been sort of retouched slightly. They do look better than others, but I'm doing terrible here. The problem is just the collision detection. It's awful, and it makes it very hard to time your punches. I've not timed anything particularly well at the minute. It's very hard to talk and play this at the same time, I've noticed. Sometimes the collision detection works in your favour, and you can punch things that are seemingly nowhere near you. Like that one. Something. I think the music is great in this level. It's again nice and rumbly, but this does adds a lot to the atmosphere. And then on the whole, the game is. It does a good job of recreating the atmosphere of the Amiga game. And when the Amiga game came out, everybody praised the graphics and the audio, but said the gameplay was a bit weak. It's ultimately very 8-bit, and in some respects it's quite an accurate conversion of the gameplay, and I think it's a bit more at home on the 8-bit computers, to be honest. listening to the music a bit there. One area that there is a little bit of improvement is the difficulty level. You can see at the top left it says 25. Well, that's your health. You can take 25 hits, and on the Amiga it only goes up to 12. So you can take double the amount of hits in the C64 version, which is welcome. And I'm trying to think, I think I may have completed the game once, many years ago. I haven't really come close to completing it in recent times. The Amiga version, I've not even come close. I don't think I've managed to exit the castle in the Amiga version. So now that we've defeated that little mini boss there, we've now got the weapon that we can fire with. There's a teleport there. The brief sections of loading they are a bit intrusive at times. They're quite frequent, but they're not too long, and they're not any longer than the Amiga version disc access. The big bosses are pretty good. This is quite well done. Again, it's maybe lacking in definition. And the parallax layer in the background is just sort of abstract dots, just using rotating, repeated character. It's a sort of technique that a lot of games use in the C64 for parallax. It works well enough, but it's not as nice as the Amiga sort of carbon wall that it used to have. Some of the enemies they are quite nicely defined. It's a shame that they're all not. It's a bit inconsistent. Sort of. Not as inconsistent as the collision detection, which is a bit ropey, as I say. Yeah, so this came out around at the same time as Turrican 2 on the C64, and around at the same time as Last Ninja 3. And those games, you know, the graphics in those games are way better in this game. Just much more imagination and much more colour on the screen. You know, I mean, the graphics are okay in this, but they're just nowhere near as good as other games that came out around about this time. And a few months later, Wrath of the Demon came out, and okay, I've reviewed that already. I'm not a fan of the game, but the graphics are great, and they're pretty amazing. And they really do make the graphics in this game look pretty weak. But yeah, when I bought this, I was happy with the overall presentation of it. So the atmosphere's pretty good. It's just the gameplay. I think the gameplay is alright. I mean, I don't mind the gameplay in the Amiga version, but yeah, it's no great shakes. It's pretty linear. Once you know the route that you have to take, it's just a matter of timing to punch the enemies. I mean, it just doesn't really have the freedom that a lot of other games around this time had. In some ways it feels pretty old-fashioned. And I think I paid $14.99 for this when it came out in cartridge, which I think is pretty reasonable. I mean, the same price as a disc game. I think Ocean originally had their games out at 20 quid and dropped it down to 15 just to start to shift a few more copies. And say what you like about the failed C64 GS console. Okay, it was a silly idea, but we did actually get some decent cartridge games. You know, there was a bit of a cartridge revival. This is certainly one of them. I'm not doing too badly here. Yes, I think I got my Amiga on, I think it was maybe Christmas '91, I think. Maybe Christmas '92, but I think it was '91. And Shadow of the Beast was actually one of the first games I got with it. My uncle bought me the for Christmas, I think. It was the budget re-release, and it just blew me away when I was playing it. Just the whole presentation of the game. The gameplay maybe didn't blow me away as much, but I thought it's fine. So here we are back on the surface, on the plains. On the Amiga version there is a different tune here, but for some reason it's not in the C64 version. In fact, I think it's a different tune when you're climbing up the well, if I remember. I mean, the parallax effect works really well. And they could easily have dropped some layers and simplified it, but the programmer has done a pretty thorough job. Just more interruptions. Yeah, I don't really read these screens anymore. I used to when I first got the game, but they're really just there to kill a bit of time while it's pulling in more data. And the amount of imagination in the game is quite commendable. Tons of different kinds of enemies. And some of them are really quite impressive, like these big claws and those big dragons that fly by the screen in a minute. It's all really well done. I think as a conversion it's great. It's better than it has any right to be. I actually thought I'd reviewed this a while back, but turns out I haven't, so here we are. Sometimes you get so many lives that it's best just keep running. Don't even attempt to punch. Yeah, there he is. I can never get him. I knew he was coming as well. There's a dragon. That's quite well done. I'll try and get to the castle at least. So if you've never played this version and you've played the Amiga version, yeah, it's maybe worth just having a go at this, just out of curiosity more than anything. But the map layout is pretty much the same. There's only one section missing, which is the sort of little jetpack section when you exit the castle. That's just omitted. I think I only saw that once on the Amiga version. I think that's as far as I got. I don't think I made it out onto the actual final level. It wasn't for lack of trying, I can tell you that. So here we are with the castle. I'm not too keen on the music in this version. I think it's a bit loud. Could have done with a bit of refinement, I think. Well, the Amiga version was quite nice. It had sort of nice guitars. It doesn't work quite as well on the old SID. Again, it's just a simple parallax effect here. A little bit disappointing. And only 4 colour backgrounds. And it's not even a full size scrolling area, but I don't know. You think maybe you could have scrolled the colour RAM or something, but maybe have some colour splits or something just to add a bit more colour. It does look a bit drab. Yeah, I'm not doing too well here, just keep running. Ah. I was clearly nowhere near him when I punched that box, but seemed to do the job. So much needed health. Yeah, it's really tough, this level. It starts to up the ante. Things start coming at you pretty fast. Watching this snake, yeah, it's pretty fast, but yeah, the collision detection is. I think it's just a square box around it. It's pretty simply done. That's the only niggle I can have with the programming on that. I think it's great. And then maybe just a little bit more colour, but it's pretty standard for a lot of C64 games. Just to have sort of 4 colours. So yeah, graphics and sound are pretty decent, especially the sound, I think. Yeah, the gameplay, I think it's okay. I mean, I'll give this game 7 out of 10. I mean, I think it's perfectly fine. It's a good game. Kept me entertained back in the day, and it's still worth playing even now, I think. It's just maybe a little bit more at home in the C64 than the Amiga. Maybe the gameplay's a bit too simple for the Amiga, or sort of 16-bit gaming. And none of the sequels appeared in the C64. It's just too late in the C64's lifespan. I'm surprised even this made it to the C64, to be honest. Laser gun. Right. Oops. Don't think I'm going to get much further. Oh, this is where this little spanner comes into play there. Okay. I'll be honest, I did have a practice go this earlier today, just to so it wasn't too crap this video. So yeah, I got reasonably far, maybe about 3/4 of the way through the game. Even the presentation extends to the end sort of cutscene here, death scene. Some nice music. And that's it. That's Shadow of the Beast on the Commodore 64. I'll give it, give it 7 out of 10. Didn't I? Yeah, it's a perfectly fine game. Bit of a typo there. They spelled Signosis wrong, didn't they? Naughty. That's a bit. Should have picked that one up, I think. Right. Yep. 7 out of 10. See you in the next video.